I um we got I had to break it up into parts. I don't like that, but that's life. It's I used hold on a second. That app right up there in the upper left, right next to the camera. I mean, the image, the camera image of me, the video cutter. I had to use that app to split it up. It's I don't know. It's life. It's life. I don't know, man. You finish or they cancel?
What?
They they you
No, no, I'm done.
they oh,
Finish.
thank you.
One only.
One only. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna smoke this one first. Oh God.
70 ka.
So I I wanted to talk more about the we call it the philosophy of science, or kind of kind of like it's kind of like that notion, the philosophy of science. Like, I mean, I was thinking about the whole time of trying to prepare for this video. I'm trying to, as best as I can, be like objectively fairly critical of myself, so that you can understand why Doug has problems with my ideas and whatnot, and other people or other scientists for that matter. I mean, I think of Doug as an engineer. Um, he's an engineer. That's because of his jobs in the past, and he has an engineering mentality. I I I don't. I mean, he does have somewhat of a scientific attitude, like a science mind, but it's not. Um, I mean, his skepticism is definitely scientific, and that's good. Uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I tried to think of an analogy that would make it sort of stick. Let me finish this cigarette, and then hold on a second. I have to pick that shit up later. I can't just leave it like that. I'll pick it up later, but no, it's not cool. My point, or the it's not really a point. It's more like a framework or an attitude, or a set of attitudes that. And I tried to come up with an analogy that would, but I could only, like, off the top of my head, I came up with this analogy like a Christian backsliding, which is maybe not the best example for you being an atheist. But my point is, or my what I'm trying to sort of get at with the last three videos that I had to break it up into three parts, is that attitude never ends. To be a good, what I consider to be a good, what I consider to be, what I consider to be a good scientist, the self-criticism or the self, keep it never ends because, and again, the crappy analogy that I have is a Christian backsliding. It's not a it's not a good analogy because you're not a Christian, but imagine if you were a Christian and you keep backsliding, you keep making mistakes, you keep going back to your hedonistic ways, and because you spent most of your life as a non-Christian, and all of a sudden you become a Christian, and then but you keep backsliding and backsliding. Well, it's kind of like my problem in science, that my ego and my insecurities and my confusion and my misunderstandings, all of those sort of combine and sabotage my. Well, wait. Here's a good analogy that's probably a better one. All right, I recently encountered this guy, and he talks about mental muscles and rewiring your brain and stuff, and don't let your saboteurs continue to derail your life. Essentially, that's what his mission is in his life, and he wants to make money from it. Okay, but for right now, in his introductory mode, he's doing it all sort of for free. And then he's training people, and to be like they call themselves life coaches. Life coaches. So they're like mentors about how to have a more successful life and be more successful with your actual, like, whatever you decide that success is, sticking with that criteria and then using his methodology to stick with that. So it's a kind of empowerment scheme that, and I think it works. You have to kind of, habitually, you have to get yourself in the habit of applying his techniques and stuff. And it's his basic framework is everyone has these saboteurs. And like a nitpicky, that's a good example of a picky saboteur is always, attention to detail. Everything's got to be perfect. Everything, attention to detail saboteur. And you're so obsessed with that, satisfying that saboteur, that it ends up dominating your life, and you don't accomplish your other goals because you're too busy trying to satisfy the saboteur inside of you. The nitpicky saboteur. But then there's, the judge. Is that the judge? He says there's one saboteur that sort of overrules the other saboteurs, and I think he calls that the judge. But I got three primary saboteurs. It's not, one of them is not ego, but it's because he ranked. There's like 9 of them. And he sort of, he has you fill out a survey, which I can give you the link for that, and then you find out what your saboteurs are, and then your job is to try to figure out how to not get around them, but don't let them always control your persona. Don't always give in to your saboteurs. Find ways to sort of like not appease them, not satisfy them, but to go around them, to evade them, to stop letting them micromanage your life, essentially. Each one of your saboteurs, and he has, like I said, he has like nine of them that he's identified that most of us have, different, strengths within ourselves, and he's got labels for them, and I feel like he's spot on when it comes to identifying saboteurs and helping you not let them have such rigid control over your life and your persona. But you have to sort of, it's almost like a meditation technique that he wants you to practice every day, and every time you feel like you're going to give in to one of these saboteurs, You have to, okay, he said it's okay for 10 seconds. Like, if you're in a self-pity mode and you're berating yourself for something, he said it's okay for 10 seconds, but any more than that is you're wasting your life. So, so I guess this is a better example than the Christian backsliding, because this one you can actually apply in your own life. The problem is that with that framework is that it's so easy to go back. Just like it's so easy for a Christian to backslide, it's in his framework, this guy's framework, it's so easy to get back into the mode where you let this, because you've done it your whole life. You know, if you're anything like the rest of us, we all have saboteurs, internal saboteurs that we just let take over because it's habitual and we've done it our whole lives. So, what's my point? What's my point? You know, and it's not really about like kicking the habit or anything. It's not really about that. It's not really about things like that physically over time probably, you know, it's probably going to kill me, but it's about not letting it. I mean, to put it in a Christian, I don't like to do this because you're not Christian, but to put it in a Christian verbiage, we all have inner demons that we struggle with, and he's trying to set everyone free without Christianity, which is, I hope you would really like this guy. He hasn't, thank God he hasn't asked me for money yet. He's just, right now he's trying to get a mass following all over the planet, you know, and he's got coaches that they get special training, and I don't think they give him a cut of their, I don't know. I met one of his coaches online, and actually, well, yeah, one coach online and another one who's not officially a coach, but she still preaches his methodologies. So two women, but and I think I met them through Internations, but so I can give you that link separately, or maybe as part of a, what do you call it, the thing, what do you call it, comment in this video. But the thing is what's my point? Getting back to science and trying to be a good scientist is kind of like that. You know, I get my ego, my insecurities, and just a simple desire to want to do something constructive and enduring. You know, like my statement many years ago, desiring to make an enduring positive contribution to humanity. That's good, a good desire. But if I let, like, if I kind